So here we are again, and we'll start off with an extract from the EWC Cruise Company Forum. Portly Pirate 3-star member. Can't wait for V101. Not long to go now, fellow forumers. Which highlights the people particularly looking forward to. Strange. Anyway, chapter 2 is called The Milkman Cometh. The dapperly dressed milkman. Imagine a dairy touting incarnation of TMS's Henry Blofeld. Wandered early morning still drunkenly up the crazy paving pathway of 34 Riedel Drive. Is inebriated, zigzagging, conveniently conspiring to knock over as much of the garden's colony of red-hatted, ruddy cheat garden gnomes as possible. Frank, this is the name of the milkman we're all now picturing in our mind's eye, had slightly misaligned xenophobic views relating to gnomes, in some way linked to an episode of QI, where Stephen Fry had enigmatically revealed that the reason gnomes always wear red hats is because they are based on German miners. Frank also mistrusted anyone who looked as cheerful as the gnomes did at 5:30 every morning. It's worth mentioning that before becoming a milkman, Frank had enjoyed a glittering, if brief, career as a bubblegum pop star in the 1970s. This short sojourn into rock and roll lifestyle, with all of its associated trappings of sex and drugs, particularly the latter in Frank's case, may or may not explain his anger and confusion relating to the Arden gnomes, and incidentally also koala bears. Heroin. It's very Moorish. If he'd been more awake, rather than merely operating on lactose delivery autopilot, and therefore over-relying on his gin and tramadol co-pilots, Frank might have noticed movement in the upstairs window of number 34. A lady who the Sun newspaper might have described as housewife Deirdre Lancet, 58, had seen the milkman approaching and was trying simultaneously to put on a dressing gown and remove her pyjamas. Had he been aware of what currently occurred behind the lace blinds of gnome patrolled 60 Semi number 34, Frank would have taken evasive action, or at least as evasive as action can be when the tools at one's disposal are the bandiest legs in Basingstoke. That was a title Frank actually won in his hometown in 1986, and a getaway vehicle capable of 25 miles an hour, and weighed down with an assortment of dairy products, various fruit juices, and a delicious new line in organic yogurts. That last sentence was inserted on behalf of the Milk Marketing Board. Maybe it's because Deirdre had been preparing for this moment for weeks. She'd been plucking her eyebrows and plucking up the courage to make a play for full cream heartthrob Frank. 2 hours in the bathroom this morning, shaving legs and arranging her hair into an Amy Winehouse or possibly Martin Simpson beehive, travelling on makeup until the wrinkles were invisible to all but the keenest of eyes, and her face was enlarged to the size of a beach ball. The look was intended to be complemented with the new Licenza underwear Deirdre had purchased over the internet, but unfortunately Mr. Wicks next door had found the box in his garage, where Parcelforce had left it, and used its contents as a chamois leather to buff up his classic Jag. This is not due to any sort of short-sightedness on the part of Mr. Wicks, it's just that he's both a bastard and a pervert. Let's just skip back briefly 36 years, to when Deirdre had met her husband Clive. He'd been a thrusting young account manager at the Midland Bank. Deirdre had been impressed by Clive's ambition, by his snappy dress sense and his knowledge of tropical fish. And for any readers who do not have knowledge of the financial sector, these attributes do indeed count as thrusting in the world of account management. They'd met in the car accessories section of the Stamford Le Hope Helfords. Deirdre was vainly trying to decide which car mats were least likely to get stuck under the brake pedal of a Triumph Herald convertible, in the hope that she could make it through a month of driving without an accident, when Clive, clad in mauve zoot suit and Cuban heels, stepped up beside her, flourishing his small package. Sticky about Velcro, came the immortal chat-up line, issuing forth from Clive's grinning mouth amidst an intoxicating haze of high karate and bike oil. They were married 3 months later. The whirlwind romance of that spring took them across the country, either in Deirdre's convertible or Clive's motorbike and sidecar, generally via the Frankly Services Little Chef, just near Junction 4 of the M5. Oh, they lived the dream all right. For anyone interested, Clive was in Halfords to pick up a chrome tax disc holder that he'd ordered in. He didn't just hang around there, preying on indecisive females seeking car mat solutions. As I just said, all this happened 36 years ago, and after 3 children, a joint bank account, and a comprehensive life insurance policy, 4 company cars, and a mostly happy marriage. In 1992, the Midland Bank was taken over by HSBC Holdings and Clive was made redundant. He never worked again. The thrusting dried up, and so did Deirdre. Ugh. And once the middle manager became a shell of the man he once had been. Clive retreated more and more into his trim pursuits of Hornby Railway enthusiasm and speed walking. These aren't technically twin pursuits, but there's only so much time a man can spend alone in his room fiddling with his locomotive. Deirdre never forgave HSBC for what they'd done to Clive, and perhaps this is where she and Frank first found some common ground, in their mutual hatred by proxy of the Chinese, also known to Frank, if nobody else, as those rice-scoffing bastards. Once again, Frank's racial antenna was unswerving in its inaccuracy. So today, once again, as Frank bent in sciatic discomfort to deposit 3 bottles of Gold Top and an organic strawberry yoghurt, other flavours available, at the feet of the King of the Gnomes, overseeing his tribe from the lofty heights of the doorstep, and Deirdre skidded down the polished oak staircase and accidentally kicked one of her slippers into her own eye. The wheels of inevitable coincidence and conjoined futures clicked into place, kick-starting a most unusual series of events.